AdonisJS provides a complete embassy structure that consists of model, views, and controller. The default project structure of Adonis serves as a great starting point to develop new applications. AdonisJS ships with a conventional set of files and directories to speed the development process and eliminate the need of varying the application by yourself. The tsconfig.json contains the configuration for TypeScript compiler. This file must exist in order for AdonisJS to compile your code into JavaScript. The server.ts file is the entry point for booting the application and starting the HTTP server. Next, the package.json file contains your scripts and dependencies. AdonisJS relies on environmental variables to hold the environmental specific configuration. It helps us to differentiate our local machine and environmental production configuration. The application runtime CLI commands and your project dependencies rely on AdonisRC.json file to understand the requirements of your project. The start directory basically contains the files that must be loaded only once during the initial boot. There will be two files, kernel.ts and routes.ts. The resources directory is dedicated to views, SAS files, and JavaScript code. After compiling the front-end assets, you must move them to the public directory since the resources directory is not exposed to the internet. Next, the public directory is the directory where we will pass our compiled SAS and JavaScript files. These files will be directly accessible by the internet. The providers directory holds the service providers local to your application. Always make sure to register the provider inside AdonisRC.json file. You will see the default appprovider.ts file in your default application created using npm init AdonisJS app. Next, the node modules where your project dependencies are installed. The contract directory basically stores interfaces, types, enums, or any other TypeScript constructs. All of the application runtime configuration is stored inside the config directory. AdonisJS ships with a bunch of well-documented configuration files used by the code of the framework. The commands local to your project are stored inside the commands directory. The build folder contains the compiled JavaScript files. And finally, the app directory contains controllers, models, and services. All of these are stored inside this directory.